Ready?
Hello and welcome to Rhythm and Pixels, a video game music podcast. This is episode 24-2, and we're your hosts. My name is Rob Nichols.
And I'm Pernell.
And every week we listen to great video game music from all consoles and all generations. We pick a topic and we dive into it, except that I had my schedule completely screwed up and ruined for August, and I wrote everything on the calendar wrong. And even though we have a list of fun topics, we had to go outside of the box, and we're going a little wild card this week.
Which is admittedly a little convenient because we're also going to go wild card for the Patreon. So
yeah, so I think that's fine. So I did have a theme with mine because I stuck with a specific. I ended up zeroing in on something that I really liked.
Oh, that's cool.
So I hope that's cool with you and the listeners.
I'm just curious about what the surprise theme is going to be. Maybe I can guess it by the end of it.
I think you will. I hope you will. I hope you do.
It's gonna be like Blue's Clues. Like you subtly hint at different things. Like, wait a minute, is this a pasta pastroni?
All right, let's stop the podcast now. Do you know what Rob's clue is?
Yes. Play some random jingle. Everybody wants to guess Robert's clue.
You know,
what's the word?
So
what's the word, Blue?
So I got to the beach this past Monday, and it was everything I wanted. It was wonderful. I got so much sun, I made myself sick. It was perfect. I swam in the waves for hours. It was all I wanted. But driving home, we drove by a bunch of fun beach attraction type stuff that we normally like to do, which is mini golf. We love the miniature golfing, and don't feel like it's safe to make stops on the way home, and that we didn't need to.
Oh, it wasn't a golf shot at the beach. It was actually like on the route to or from.
Yeah, there's a couple like really good ones that are huge, that are like themed, and they're indoor, outdoor with like waterfalls, all sorts of fun stuff. The Delaware beaches are awesome. So if you've ever been to Delaware, you know. If you haven't, come to Delaware when it's safe. Anyway,
exactly, that's the key.
When it's safe. Anyway, so you know what I want to do now? I want to make like a little mini golf course in the backyard.
Oh, that would be cool.
I'm thinking
you have
about
space.
I just like maybe it's like a little little thing. We can just kind of like just put AstroTurf down and like put little obstacles, and then you come over and we could just play mini golf. That'd be kind of fun, right?
You could even, like, for the purpose of your space predicament, you could make one just massive zone.
Yeah.
With multiple holes there, and you cap all the holes until you're actually playing that specific one. Then you take the cap off, and then you just put a bunch of obstacles out on the course that correspond with the hole and the starting point.
I think that's a pretty good idea. I mean, some people have like cornhole in their backyard all the time. Some people have fire pits. We'll have mini golf.
Some people have fire corn.
Fire corn. No, we have corn stalks. We've eaten all of our corn, and now I'm waiting for them to dry out so that we can use them as Halloween decorations.
Oh no, the corn! That'd be pretty cool.
The melons are growing pretty well. My cucumbers have just exploded. I'm getting so many cucumbers. Although one was really eaten this morning. It was like huge. Like you could see like this giant like like bite like right out the center of it. It was really funny. I'm like, I think a couple bunnies were working on that thing. So.
I think it's funny, like, this was like one of those weird weeks where, like, you had the crazy cool experience, and I'm like, I had the crazy no experience. And, but at the end of the day, we both met back at the center.
Yeah, we're coming back. We're back here.
That's right. That's right.
Oh yeah, we had the work in our house done, so that was done in a couple days. I'm really pleased that's finished.
Yeah, all his floors replaced.
All the floors are replaced. They needed to get
hired
done.
Lumberjacks, none of which were Dexter.
Although they're coming back tomorrow because we noticed some issues, and they might have to like patch in a couple spots just to be, or just tell me that like, hey, it's supposed to be like that. I don't think it's supposed to be like that. Anyway, that's fine.
On your head, sir.
Let me tell you, they're coming at like 8 a.m, which is fine.
By the way, did you get the insurance for 2 years? No.
No.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like that.
No, we know. I think it's good for a year, and we got like extra wood in the garage, so that's cool. Have you gotten any more exercise in?
Yeah, I went yesterday,
Good.
But due to the job, it's harder for me to get there because it's a combination of things. The job keeps me well, it's not even that keeps me later, though sometimes it kind of does. But in addition to being stuck at work later, the gym also shifted its hours on account of COVID, so it closes 1 hour earlier, which for a lot of people probably isn't a big deal because everybody but me is an early bird. I, on the other hand, needed that extra hour to show up at 7:30. Yeah. So since I can't do that anymore, I'm always cutting it closer, not making it at all, which sucks. But I do, I still try to do stuff when I can. The guy gave me I feel like he was joking or teasing me just because he was like, I work here. But he was like, oh, you're looking pretty thin, man. I was like, I gained weight since February. What are you talking about? He's like, you still look thin. I was like, well, maybe, I don't know. I don't personally feel that way, but it's just the body is weird. And I also feel like my gains suck. Like, I don't have any real pecs. I'm still pushing like 30 per arm when I wanted to be up to like 50 or something. And my legs aren't
on a bench press,
like curls and stuff. Bench pressing, I haven't done in a while. I still wonder how well I could do with that.
You gotta remember, biceps are not large muscles. Like it takes a while to really develop those. Like I can only do 30s, and barely sometimes.
I know, pre-COVID, when I was going to the gym, I think I started hitting 150 or so, 160 on the bench before I stopped.
On the bench, yeah.
Which, keeping in mind, for those who are like, I started at like 90. So, I made some decent progress.
Yeah, you can get that, especially with the bench. Men have really our upper bodies are just built to do a lot of that stuff for the most part. Generally speaking, very generally speaking.
And I'll say honestly, after Saturday, I've been more inclined to want to do more stuff. That fire was lit where I was like, you gotta be buff, you gotta be sturdier than you were because you don't know, you never know. So even when I built a freaking that night, after that whole thing happened, I actually built a pull-up bar to hang over my door. Now I'm trying to do pull-ups in the house.
Nice.
And all this stuff.
Yeah, I was out running last weekend, and I haven't done pull-ups since March because I haven't wanted to touch the bar in the park. And I thought this time I'm just going to do it. So I got down there, and there was a guy there too, and I was just waiting for him to be finished. And at my absolute best, I was able to do 20. And that was 10 years ago. And then maybe 2 years ago or a year ago, at my best was 10. And I was pretty proud of myself. It's been a while, and I can do 6 or 7 in a row. I think I got 7. But the guy was doing, he would pull up and then swing his legs over it and do a flippy flip around the bar.
A flippy flip?
Yeah, and then he pushed down and did a dip on the bar, so he was on top of it. And I was
dippy dip.
And I was like, dude, that dippy dip, but the flippy flip is really cool. And he's like, here, I'll show you how to do it. And so I kept trying to do it.
Yeah, I love how he's probably it's so easy. Look, you just take one arm and then throw your body.
He's like, really? It's just a trick. I saw you doing a whole bunch just now. I mean, so you're ahead of me already. So it's just a trick. You just got to swing your body weight around. And I'm like, man.
From side to side. Come on, it's time to do the dippy dip.
I said, no. I said, I don't know if I can do this. But I got close. And I thought I was going to fall on my head. So I was upside down.
We should also acknowledge. I was going to say we should acknowledge that we got that letter from a listener too recently.
Yeah, there's two things I do want to mention. I'm going to pull it up real quick. We have a listener from Germany, and he sent us a really nice email in the past about listening to our show while training for a marathon. And he sent us another really, really nice message where he was listening to our last episode, 24-1, while running.
Pumping up. Keep in mind, the theme of that episode was Pump Up the Jams. Getting pumped.
And he sent us a photo from on top of a mountain he was on. I'm trying to find the name of it.
I thought it was called started it was HAA Homestead or something like that.
Yeah, that sounds right. I can't. My scanning ability with my eyes is not working. It was Hideki Naganuma Mountain. No, it was not. Anyway, that's fine. Anyway, thank you so much for the email. It's really cool to see stuff like that. And I'm glad that we're what's the word? You know what I'm talking about? We're encouraging him. I'm glad we're encouraging you.
I'm glad that we're, macrameing you but yeah, I honestly agree with that. And I feel like it's doubly the fact that it goes both ways too. We are doing what we can to hopefully provide some positivity in your day and motivation or encouragement. and your endeavors. And honestly, whatever we hear from people, whatever we see people talk in our chat groups, even if we might not particularly respond all the time, we see people talking, and it's awesome.
Yeah, it's really, really great.
Whenever we see those things, those communications, it feels good. It's like this is like a social group that we've all cultivated together.
Yeah.
And it's nice to see everybody engaging and just supporting each other. It's
nice.
Legit.
It is a group. It's not a club. It's just a nice little group. Oh, it is Harburg. It was in Harburg, Germany.
I was close to see. Bam!
Yeah, really close. That was cool. So anyway, thank you so much for the email. One last thing is I want to mention on our website, there's a link for merchandise. Click that link and you'll see different t-shirt designs that we have up there. One of them is for lobster racing, which I think is hilarious. And so if you want to support the show, you want to support us, go check that out. I think we're gonna have some Pernell and I modeling the shirts on the website and on Facebook time.
I even also end up throwing a little bit of money on my own out. A friend of mine is in the arts and entertainment industry. And she's like, look, basically she's trying to earn some extra cash because, as you can guess, a lot of artists and stuff are kind of out of work right now.
Mm-hmm.
So she put in a request, like, anybody want to buy a mask or something for me, I can make you a mask. And I was like, oh, yeah, I do. So she's making me a Rhythm and Pixels mask.
Awesome.
And I'm going to flaunt that bad boy.
Oh, I love it.
Glorious.
Yeah, masks are good. Are now, like, you can make statements with them. You can make them fashionable.
You can put stats on them.
You put your stats on them. I like that. So go check that out. I'm glad, support your artists, your local artists, your friends who are doing art.
Yes.
Everyone is really, really kind of struggling right now. So
that's an and remember on the house from Robin Purdell.
Definitely. All right, so let's get started. This is a Wildcard episode. I'm calling it. Is this Wildcard 4? Might be 5 or 6. I'm calling it Wildcard'n for life.
Like, was it? That's Bad Boys 3.
Yeah, Bad Boys 3, 4, I don't know. Remember the Fate and the Fury, so which is the Fast 8.
There's too many of
There's
those
a lot of them. I haven't watched a bunch of them, but they're supposed to be really fun. Anyway, my first track, Pernell, is from the Sega CD. It is from Advanced Dungeons & Dragons, The Eye of the Beholder. I don't know any of the track names, so this is an unknown track. And in fact, I went through a long play on YouTube, and I couldn't find the track anywhere through the long play, so this might be a hidden track. But the composer for Advanced Dungeons & Dragons on the Sega CD is Yuzo Koshiro.
Oh, yeah.
So it's interesting. Nope, that was not Streets of Rage. That was Advanced Dungeons and Dragons: Eye of the Beholder for the Sega CD, composed by Yuzo Koshiro. And this is an unknown. It's not an unknown track like a hidden track. It's just I don't know what the track is. I think it's gameplay. So
it might be why it's a hidden track when you think about it. He composed this track. They were probably like, "Nah, this isn't appropriate for the game atmosphere, but we'll put it on the."
No. They're all like the stage one. Like actually, the main music that plays through all the stages that I watched online sounds like this. It's all techno. It's all techno and drum and bass. It sounds like Streets of Rage in a Dungeons and Dragons game, which is really interesting. So, this came out on DOS and the PC 98, and there was different composers for all of the versions of the game that came out. But the PC 98 and this version was Yuzo Koshiro, and it is funky. It is really cool, and it actually really fits the game really well. It's like one of those like fake, like first-person games where you have like the buttons to go left, right, turn left and right, and go forward. You know, those stages in Shin Megami Tensei.
The dungeon, the wandering dungeons, dungeon areas.
Yeah, so it's like really easy to get lost. But it's a lot. It's like that all the way through. But it's really deep gameplay, like character stats and stuff like that. But this kind of music plays through the whole thing. It's so cool.
And it's funny you said it. This actually sounds like it could be in an SMT game too, not Persona, but traditional SMT game.
It
like
does.
Some of the older ones.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. It's kind of dark and funky. It's got some of my favorite Shin Megami Tensei aspects to it, you know? So anyway.
I'm personally a fan of this. Good pick.
Thank you.
And this is a good track to select for a Wildcard episode because you said, I don't have the track name.
Yeah.
It sounds cool, but, save it for a Wildcard. Here it is.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I knew there was some interesting stuff I wanted to explore, and this was one of them. And I was listening to that at work today, and I'm like, man, this is good. Oh, yeah, I was on hold with Verizon for about an hour and a half, and then I had to work with a guy for another hour on the phone. So for an hour and a half, I wasn't listening to hold music. I was listening to the soundtrack.
Honestly, you made out better for that.
Yeah.
Just like guy comes back like, "Hello, Mr. Robert. Robert, sir.
I'm about to put you on hold and listen to the rest of this jam. Thank you."
Hold on, sir. And the guy on the other end is probably like, "Good, I'll take the break. Go listen to your music."
All right, so yeah, this is Eye of the Beholder, Advanced Dungeons and Dragons with Yuzo Koshiro. So what's your first pick?
So my first pick is a track from a game. Well, it's not a game. The game itself I play a lot, but this track has been one that I kind of listen to off and on lately when I feel like I need a little bit of a pick-me-up, smile time theater, and figured on a wild card, this would be a good time to use it. So this track is featured in the DJMax series. The most recent game, DJMax Respect, has it in it as well. It's called Over Your Dream, and it's sung or performed by a group, I think is a group specifically for that brand, like the DJMax game. It's called XX.
Like the
house band.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. And it's xxdbxx. So I don't know how you pronounce it. I'm just going to say the letters.
I just typed it out, and it looks like a screen name that you would see playing Xbox 360.
Pretty much. And the funny part is, the first time I typed it in, I got the D and the B backwards. There's someone else that goes by that. Don't Google it, though.
But it's not music, though.
It is music, but I don't know what else is there. I stopped at the music, and it wasn't wholesome music.
Oh, okay. I think I see a live version on YouTube, too. That's pretty cool. All right, let's listen.
There's always gotta be for you and me. You're living your life in the earnest. You're making a lonely stage only for yourself. And I will make you pay, you'll never paper. Listen to my dream. Move your arms to reach the call down there and sing to the darkest. And they break is coming faster. Can you hear? Can you feel? I can dream that true, but
Welcome back. You are listening to Over Your Dream from the DJMax series, performed and sung by xxdbxx, whatever that stands for. Now, I'm going to be honest. I'm going to wager that a lot of you were listening to that and were like, I kind of understand what she's saying, but I also kind of can't.
Yeah.
And that's okay, because I'm the same way. I'm still the same way, and I've heard this song like 100 times. But it doesn't matter. It's a certain energy. It's like when I always say to people that when you listen to music that's from other countries and different languages, and people will say, how can you enjoy that? You have no idea what they're saying. And I'm like, you don't necessarily have to, because sometimes there's just a certain energy that comes out of what they're saying that conveys the feeling that I would assume they want you to take. Now, keep in mind, someone can totally troll you and sing a poppy song about some horrible stuff, and you might not know. But at the same time, I would wager if that were the case, people who were fluent in the language might not take so kindly to it, thereby it not being such a hit.
Okay, so this is Korea's composer, or a Korean. I'm sorry, I'm reading a Google translated page. So is a Korean composer for the series of Easy to DJ in the DJMax series. His name is Jinwoo Nam.
Oh, good, fine.
Yeah.
Good, fine. So I guess that the whole XX thing is just like their, maybe it's just their name in the game. Because, a lot of times these guys will have names specifically for the games.
Well,
they might compose like multiple, they might portray multiple artists in the game, but it's one person or two people.
So it looks like this one only came out in the DJMax trilogy, and I think they've worked together as a band. So it might be, I don't know. I'm thinking it's still the composer's Xbox 360 name. And this is what he used to play Halo. I don't know.
Like they definitely used the track in some other stuff, because like when you get to like some of these later games, they like to pull stuff from older games and reuse it. Like DJMax Respect was kind of released as a sort of, we're not dead yet, the franchise is still kicking.
Yeah.
And this is an homage to the franchise plus some new stuff. So it has like 200, 300 tracks in it or something once you buy the DLC. So it's like, it's very reasonable to think that this is probably like a revival track. And for good reason, because holy cow, it's fantastic. I love it to death. Again, I don't understand what she's saying, but it makes me feel extremely good inside. And that part where like when the shit shifts to the do, like it's like an energy, it kicks in. The energy push kicks in. It's wonderful. So of course, the first time I heard it in the game, I would scroll past it, hear the preview, like I don't want to play this.
Really? This sounds like yours, like all the way.
Yeah, but at the time I was thinking maybe I was looking for some stuff that was more like of the weird like classcore or like weird, some of the like the harder genres that they have in the game. And then one day I was like, I'm gonna pick this, see what it sounds like, see if it's okay. And of course I then proceeded to play it like 7 more times in a row because I was like, this is really good. Now I gotta get a perfect score on low difficulty and then fumble through the harder difficulties and then of course never beat it on the hardest difficulty. But I was in love with it. So again, perfect excuse to break it out for a Wildcard episode, because I honestly have no idea what theme topic I would have chosen this track for. So, ew.
Well, I have something else for you, Pernell. This is from the game Final Fight CD for the Sega CD. And this is the track called Subway Beginning in Uptown, Penthouse Indoors.
Waiting for you to tell me composed by Tenpei Sato. Like, what?
No, it's T's Music. So I forget who's included in that group. I know Ed Wilson and all these other like really.
Ed Wilson's in T's Music?
Yes, can you believe it?
I had no idea.
Mystery solved. It's Ed from the VG Embassy. Wilson. That's his middle name. Anyway, this is from Final Fight CD for the Sega Mega CD.
By Ed T. Wilson's Music.
Ed T. Wilson's Music. So that was the subway beginning in Uptown Penthouse Indoors track from the game Final Fight CD for the Sega Mega CD, composed by Junko Tamiya and arranged by T's Music.
That was fantastic, by the way.
Oh.
Like, the moment it started, I was like, yep, this is definitely the subway theme from Final Fight, but they put quite the T's Music spin on it. Like, it definitely sounded like it came out of their offices.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't like the hard rock style. It was definitely more of like that 80s rock. Like, it reminded me of a Hungry Like the Wolf, you know?
But in the subway.
Yeah. Oh, man, that's so good. I don't have anything else other than this except for it was arranged by Ed Wilson, but composed by Junko Tamiya. So I don't know how... I mean, Ed must have been like 3-4 years old when this game... No, he's older than us, right?
The guy's a prodigy, though.
Yeah, he must have been like 17 or 18, right?
Oh, stop it.
But I'm kidding, but not really.
Yeah, he's kidding about the age, but we're not kidding that Ed was all about this. He put that work in, baby.
Actually, I have a pretty good piece of credits here that I can work off of to find the actual arrangers for this track. So I'll have
arrangers. Now I'm just picturing like red arrangers, blue arrangers.
By the Pink Ranger. This was arranged by the Pink Ranger and Ed Wilson. Unbelievable power duo. Ed Wilson plays the guitar. The Pink Ranger plays the bass, obviously. So
it's shaped like a bow somehow.
Yeah.
Ask questions.
Yeah, and she pulls out her dagger and it turns into a flute.
There it is.
It's pretty simple. I mean, it's just it writes itself for now. You know.
Dual-purpose instruments are the wave of the future.
Yeah.
That's clearly shown.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed that one. So, what's your next track?
Well, this next one, I'm actually kind of surprised I didn't pick it for the show because I could have sworn I did. But I like when that means I didn't, because either I'm featuring it now, or it's just going to get 2 times stippled because it's awesome.
All right.
This comes from the game Polyroll, and the title of the track is the Parcheesi Temple, and it was composed by Andrew Riley. Welcome back. You are listening to the Parcheesi Temple theme from the game Polyroll, released on the Switch and Steam, and composed by Andrew Riley. So, this game was definitely designed with an inspiration of Sonic the Hedgehog in mind. And the song, and the reason why I picked it, because I like the song, well, for one, and two, it gives me a lot of Rystar vibes when I listen to it. Especially with the go!
Okay, yeah. The rhythm is very Rystar too, yeah.
Like, honestly, the OST is like, it goes on both ends, but it's like there's some tracks that are rather miss, and there's some tracks that are pretty hit. Mm-hmm. I personally feel like this is one of the hit tracks, and I love that since I do a lot of reviews for SML, one of the positive benefits to doing those is that I end up getting exposed to a lot of games that I probably wouldn't have purchased if I didn't get a chance to try them first through the review scoop. And they're also games that would likely have fallen under my radar. Actually, I think that's more likely what it would have been. They would have fallen under my radar. Because again, like I never heard of Polyroll until that review option came. I was like, yeah, I'll do this. And I've been enjoying the game. And I got to hear this cool OST that I would have never heard otherwise. So, of course, it's a good opportunity to share on the show if I come across it. It gives these guys more exposure. And
Oh, it
I
looks
learned
really
about
cute.
Dominic Nidmark, too.
It looks really cute. Definitely has like an old school, like 16-bit platformer vibe to it. Very Sonic in the way he's moving around and fighting bosses. But,
he even gets like variety, different themed shields like Sonic too.
Oh, cool.
There's a magnet shield and a fire shield.
Definitely more vertical and more reasons to platform than just to try to run through the stage. So that's really fascinating. I think that's really cool. But the song is very strange to me. It's almost dissonant in like the first opening sections where it's kind of off key a little bit, but then it kind of rolls back around. I don't know if that was intentional or if it was. Is this stage like really like bonkers? Is it like kind of dreamlike?
Not even so much. Like if you remember the levels in Rise Star, I want to say like it resembles a bit of the Music Land area that you go to, the first area though, not the second.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not quite crazy, but there are like different elements where it's like a lot of hopping, like spring-loaded stuff to launch you upwards and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's interesting. So he's like a roly-poly bug.
Yeah, he's a roly-poly. I think he's some cross between like a roly-poly bug and like an armadillo.
Yeah,
that's what I've been thinking.
Kind of like that. He kind of rolls up with his little armor and just sort of like runs around. That's really cool. All right,
Yeah,
so
but it's a good one. It's cheap too, so like it makes it accessible as well.
all right, so my last track. Oh, this is a tough pick here. I'm gonna go with this one. This one actually I found electronic Boogaloo suggested this one on our Discord, and I thought, why not? This sounds awesome. This is from the game Android Assault for the Sega CD. Do you see what I'm doing here, Pernell?
For a second, I was like, did you mean Assault Android Cactus? Like, wait a minute, this is a different game with a very similar title.
The Android Assault for the Sega CD. This is the track called Ganymede, and this is composed by Nobuhiro Makino.
See, that's definitely a yeah.
Oh, you pump your fist in the air and you go, yeah.
Freeze frame.
That was Ganymede from the game Android Assault for the Sega Mega CD. And that was composed by Nobuhiro Makino. And that one was suggested by Electric Boogaloo on our Discord server. So thank you, Electric Boogaloo, for sending me down the Sega CD rabbit hole and picking all Sega CD tracks on today's episode.
And thank you for finding a track that comes from a game called Assault Android or Android Assault, yet somehow sounds like it is like in a self-motivational video.
It is.
Because it is so uplifting and fun and fancy-free.
Yeah.
It probably plays while you're dismantling an entire robot factory.
It's like, employees, start today and invest in your future. Destroy all humans and replace them with androids.
The right way is the mechanical way. Souls are for suckers. Buy a metal exoskeleton today.
Oh man, that's so funny. No, it sounds like it does sound like the 80s sitcom theme. You know, this could have fit in with that episode with Hammock pretty easily, especially since I started singing the Perfect Strangers theme throughout the entire song, and Pernell had to listen to it.
That's right. I was fine with that. We were in that Perfect Strangers mood today.
I was. I usually am, which is unusual. No, it's the usually am. I usually am, which is.
Well, I mean, it's the Meposian way, man.
Yeah. Is it Meposian or Mepo?
Well, the country is Mepos. So then the question becomes, what is that variant of Mepos? Meposian.
I don't know. He's actually from the capital of Mepos, which is just called Chicago.
That's a lie.
Yeah.
That is a lie.
They stole the name.
I am the foremost expert in the Perfect Strangers lexicon. I'm lying. So,
I don't know.
Honestly, I kind of wish I were.
What was the name of his
Perfect
village?
Strangers.
I mean, how big was Mepos?
Because I don't know the name of the village. He always just referred to Mepos. Like, he may have mentioned the name of the village once, but I typically heard him say, like, my village, not my village by name. Though, admittedly, Perfect Strangers was on the air when I was, like,
okay. It
6.
is a Greek island, but it is fictional. And it's in the Mediterranean Sea, which also doesn't exist. So I think there's a lot of fake things happening in this show.
Yeah, but that's what made it great.
But if you can spell Bartakamus, his last name, you will win a big thumbs up from Rob Nichols.
And if you can spell Appleton, which was his cousin's last name, you win nothing, because that's a very easy name to spell.
Right, not even an apple. All right, well, what is your last track?
My last track comes from a game that is likely not very often talked about, and for good reason, because it's not even a bad game. Is it
a naughty game?
No.
Is it a racy game?
Well, no. Actually, no.
It's none of those things, but anyway.
None of the above. But, I mean, maybe in some countries. But here, where I played it, nope, no raciness at all. This game is called King's Knight on the NES. And this is the Overworld theme from that game, and it's composed by Nobuo Uematsu.
Oh, all right. Well, it's some sexy music, at least.
Yep, sir. Welcome back. You're listening to the Overworld theme from the game King's Knight for the Nintendo Entertainment System, because I apparently had to say the whole thing, composed by Nobuo Uematsu. So,
Wow, you sound like you're really close all of a sudden.
because I am, I just love the microphone so much. No, now this track actually comes from a game that at the time, before there was Final Fantasy, Square was still releasing games, but they weren't doing so well with what they were releasing. Weren't getting a whole lot of love, and in some cases that was for very good reason. This game is one such game in that lineup. King's Knight.
Is this the precursor? Is this the precursor to La Mulana?
Not even close.
Oh, I'm thinking of
close.
I'm thinking of a different game.
I mean, graphically, maybe, I don't know, but like, the product itself can best be described as something like a shooter equivalent to something like Commando.
Oh.
The game itself scrolls upwards on its own.
Right.
And your character is on that screen. He's running around and he's shooting at enemies like a shooting game. He's like a character like an RPG, like a knight class type character, but over time you can recruit other heroes who will work as like other heroes in your party, quote unquote, but you can then switch between like a rotation, like using a button to rotate them, and they each fire bullets differently. There's an overworld that you traverse, but if I remember correctly, sometimes you can find your way, it's either you can find your way underground by finding like dungeon entrances, or it's just different stages, but it's been a while, so I don't remember that. The only reason I was able to ever play it was because when I was a kid, my next door neighbor didn't have a great deal of money, but they wanted you to kind of think they did. So they would talk about these cool games they got. Your dad would like bring them some games home, and he ran like a pawn shop. So he would just come across some weird random stuff that he would buy.
Oh, that's cool.
Cheap,
Yeah.
and they would bring it home, and his kids were like, "I got this cool game." And I also kind of hung out with them. I would go to visit sometimes. I had a crush on like the one kid's sister, and so as a result, I was like, "Hey, I'm a bad guy." So I was trying to like mesh with the family, so to speak. But at the same time, I would hang out with the son, and we'd play video games together while he was trying to convince me that these games he had were awesome. This was one such game. His dad found it for cheap, brought it home, said, "Here you go." And I was actually shocked at the time. I was like, "Wait a minute, this is Squaresoft." I know this company, but what the heck is this game? And the more I played, I was like, this is not very fun, like at all. But I kept trying to like it. Like, when you like I said, I think I mentioned in previous episodes, but when you're a kid, you don't get access to like limited, you don't have a limitless supply of games to play. So whenever a new one comes across your desk, if you don't have a ton in the backlog to try, if this one sucks, you're going to try to force enjoyment out of it. Yeah,
you're gonna play as much as you can of King's Knight. This isn't. I was watching some long play as you were talking, and it's very interesting. It is like a shooter, like a vertical shooter, except that you play like a little knight or like a little lizard man or like a little wizard, and you're just shooting. You're shooting everything.
You break the landscape.
Yeah, you can destroy the land, which is for 1980 whatever 1986. That's pretty cool. But
yeah, it also kind of makes no sense. Like, you're a knight that's just like blowing up mountains.
Yeah, totally. Like
a level
with your
one
sword.
knight that's blowing up mountains.
Yeah, throw your sword and blow up the mountains. I don't know. Maybe that all checks out to me. Honestly, I think it's. But it's awesome that it's all Nobuo Uematsu on the soundtrack, right?
That is true.
Very young.
Maybe it's because he was the King's Knight. That's why he had the power to destroy mountains.
Yeah. The king was like, "I grant you the power to destroy mountains." I wish he'd grant me the power to destroy mountains.
What would you use it for? There aren't any mountains around here.
It'd just be nice to have, just it's for him.
Keep it in your pocket.
It's nice to be thought of every once in a while. Purnell.
Just have it kept in your pocket until you need it.
Just so I need it.
You might need it one day.
All right, I'm going to turn this track all the way down, and we're going to get into the part of the show called the bonus round.
Bonus round. Play the game.
All right, so the bonus round is where we play covers and remixes and arrangements on our theme. And my theme is Sega CD. I've been playing nothing but Sega CD music, and I'm going to keep doing that. This is an arrangement for the Sega Mega CD of Earnest Evans, which is
I remember that game.
Yeah, which is Motoi Sakuraba. And I love this soundtrack on the Mega Drive, but I never heard the arranged music on the Sega CD. So this is the arranged track of Stage 1 for Ernest Evans on the Sega CD, composed by and arranged by Motoi Sakuraba. that was Stage 1 from Ernest Evans. I almost said Eastern Evans, like Eastern Island. From Ernest Evans for the Sega CD, composed and arranged by Motoi Sakuraba. What do you think of that?
I think it's quite divine.
It's fine. Yeah, I liked it. I love that soundtrack to begin with. It's interesting. All of the was it Wolf Team? The Wolf Team or Wolf?
Oh, it was a you would know. I
yeah,
got
as the oh my god, I'm gonna look up the Wolf Team did all the Sega games. So Wolf Team Sakuraba-san. Yeah, Wolf Team. They did Ernest Evans. They did El Viento. A slew of others. But I did not know that they also did music they also ported their games to the Sega CD. So that's really cool. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say. It was Wolf Team, Motoi Sakuraba.
You gotta say though, having a name like Wolf Team, that's fire.
I don't know why it was called Wolf Team. I think it was because they had a game called Wolf Child. Or
whatever led them there, it doesn't matter.
Oh, Soldice. Yeah, that's what
Team.
it was. They're just amazing. It's just an amazing composer. That's right. So all of the Wolf Team games from the Sega Mega Drive had like these hand claps that were really loud. Or at least they're loud on all of the emulated recordings that I hear, and they're cool, but I feel like they're just too punchy, and it kind of takes away from the music. So this
doesn't it need to be a little bit more kicky instead, or?
Yeah, it's too much punch. It needs to be a little bit softer in the background. It's part of percussion. But instead, it's just like clap. But this song, which has tons of hand claps, you don't hear. There's no hand claps in the arranged version. It's just badass guitar solos and arpeggios. Arpeggios, Pernell.
I was waiting. I was counting this whole time. It took you a good long 54 minutes to reference arpeggios.
Right. It's a little bit better. It really reminds me of Final Fantasy X. This.
Well, honestly, I think it's like, I'll give you that. Like Final Fantasy X, that's your jam, but it's not as frequently referenced for good reason.
I know. I'm just joking because
I'm just saying, like arpeggio, you can literally fit that into every episode. Not to say you have, but you totally could. And if I went back and checked, it may well be in more episodes than it isn't.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying, it's just it's
the arpeggio effect. It gets in everything.
It's used in the NES, and it's a musical thing. People use on guitars all the time, on pianos.
A future horror movie. The arpeggio effect.
Yeah, there's actually a romantic comedy you can see on Netflix right now. It's called Arpeggio. It's called The Arpeggio Effect 2. Notes in Love. And it's about two piano players, and they absolutely hate each other for about an hour and a half until they kiss at the end.
Oh, that sounds like a typical love comedy, but arpeggioed.
All right, so what's your bonus round track?
Well, I'm just going to say flat out that this track absolutely sounds like a game needed some assistance. They couldn't figure out who to get for a composer team, and they reached out and said, "Let's get Wolf Team in here."
What?
But they couldn't get Wolf Team.
No.
So they got one better.
What?
They got Chris Baines from Chris Baines Music.
Oh.
To compose an original boss battle piece for a JRPG.
All right, let's listen to that.
And what is it called? It's called Defying the Grips of Fate.
Ooh.
Take a listen to this masterful man at work.
Yeah, Chris Baines is so talented. So talented. I'm really excited to play some more of his music on our show.
Hear, hear. hopefully you just enjoyed what we just listened to, because I sure as heck did, which was Defying the Grips of Fate, an original cut from Chris Baines of Chris Baines Music. This was his interpretation of a JRPG boss battle.
Yeah.
I feel as though he succeeded, hand over fist, and I'm fine with it.
So good. It sounds like Falcom Sound Team wrote this track. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. If you're listening and you're working on a game, or you know a producer or a developer, get this man on your contacts list on your phone and call him up.
You're here because honestly,
that'd be awesome.
I like seeing or hearing more game music cover artists compose more jams that are not covers, like they're original pieces.
Yeah. You like to hear
that
more
are meant to be in games.
Yeah, more original stuff, like that are meant to be stages, meant to be like boss fights. It's just really cool.
And to hear this, it just screams, "Put me in a game now!" So
I know.
I would like to see that happen one day.
Yeah. Well, for more information on the bonus round, go to rhythmandpixels.com. We'll have links to Chris Baines' SoundCloud and Bandcamp and everywhere you can go buy his music and support him. The artist, Chris Baines. Do it. All right, thanks for joining us on episode 24-2 of Rhythm and Pixels, Wildcard'n for life.
Wildcard for life.
Yeah, it's just our free picking our own tracks episode. No theme. I just picked a bunch of Sega CD music. Pernell picked a bunch of cool music, I suppose. And
Hey, you mean suppose you know?
I know.
No.
No, man. I liked all your tracks. I especially liked the King's Knight track. I thought it was cool. And the first one from DJMax Respect, that was cool.
Love it. I'm going to probably end up playing it after this episode's done recording, just to experience it.
I should get into that. I've been wanting to play more rhythm games that aren't with my feet, but I should probably try to get through as much as I can of Crosscode.
Yeah, keep playing that, but also, admittedly, since it's a rhythm game, it wouldn't hurt if you did pick it up if that was what you're interested in, because they're not meant to really be played to completion. You just play them off and on.
Yeah, that's kind of how I am with a lot of games. I'm still playing a lot of Tetris Effect. I finally leveled up into Master and unlocked classic Game Boy skins on the game. I don't know. I'm just playing a lot of Tetris still. I can't wait until the networked Tetris comes out, which was...
I was about to say, you heard about that?
Yeah, which should have been what this game was.
I guess they were just trying to go for a whole Zen approach, which implied that you'd be playing it alone.
I know, but then the Tetris Battle Royale came out, and everyone was in love with that, and that's just the way you do it.
We left money on the table. We got to do this again.
Totally. I would buy it again but I think if you bought it on PS4, you're going to get an update to the game, but not for another 2 years, because that means next year Microsoft's releasing theirs.
What do you mean 2 years? Or they have exclusive rights to that version of it?
I think so. That's what I read. It was just coming out on Microsoft first, and then it's going to get ported as an update to the PS4. So, and that's where I'm at. I'm just not going to buy multiple systems. That doesn't even make sense,
because by that point the PS5 will be out.
Probably, and so maybe it'll be on the PS5 only. I don't know. Or maybe they'll just keep releasing games that are on both systems, and that'll make me happy, so I don't have to buy another machine, right, Pernell?
Yeah, honestly, I don't know what my stance is going to be. Because
that's what's
on one hand,
happen.
I shouldn't buy a new machine. On the other hand, I'm assuming that over time, the game reviews are going to be popping up on the newer machines. And if I don't have a newer machine, I can't do reviews, which means I got to pick one or both for that purpose.
I think during the course of this show, I finally caught up with the PS4. I've been playing on that. And now during the course of the show, I'm probably going to fall out of video games because I'm going to refuse to buy a new system for a while.
There's so many games on the older ones, though.
I know.
The only genuine reason to keep up with newer systems is because you're chasing the tech and you're chasing new releases. Which, don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that's what they bank on to keep doing it.
Right.
Whereas if you were able to say, I'm putting my foot down right now.
I know, but
I'm going to play the 200 games I've never started up yet.
So many of the games that I love and that appeal to me are pixelated, throwback style games, and you don't need the power of the PS whatever to play that kind of stuff. But anyway, if you're listening to the show and you think I'm wrong and you want to tell me about it, please send us an email. I would love to hear from you.
rhythmandpixels@hotmail.com.
Truly. And if you'd like more information about our show and a full track listing from all of our episodes and access to all the other cool stuff that we're doing, go to the website.
rhythmandpixels.com.
Now, I should say again, there's links to our Discord server on the website, and there's a link to our merchandise. So if you click that, there's links to all of the t-shirts and all the crazy, wacky logos and stuff we've put together right there on the website. And if you'd like to support the show, just tell people about it. It's really good just to share it. Tell people online, tell your friends, tell your family. Like, everyone's got a lot of time right now, or everyone is just looking for a good distraction. Tell them about a podcast that they've never heard of, about music that they don't care about, and I think they'll enjoy it.
About people that they don't know.
They don't know.
Hopefully they might come to care about over time.
I care about you. So
Oh, stop. Well, he's like, actually, I'm referring to the listeners.
I was referring to the listeners for now.
Darn it, that was supposed to be a joke.
I
Okay,
really
what?
care about you. No, it's fine. So you can do that, or you can go to Patreon, patreon.com/rhythmandpixels, and you can support us there. And by supporting us, you get access to prequel episodes every week. I know I missed a week. I'm sorry about that, but we'll do more of those soon. You get also access to a live stream once a month. Usually at the end of the month. They're usually on time, but I have a lot of travel coming up, so it's a little weird. But
I also
yeah,
kind of find that humorous that we don't plan the prequels. It's just dialogue that we have.
Yeah,
and yet somehow we always have dialogue.
Yeah,
Just general dialogue before every episode.
well, especially now, like we're not hanging out as much, so it's like it's like catching up a little bit. So I really appreciate doing that. But also on Patreon, if you at certain donation levels, you can get little shout outs at the end of every episode. You can get shout outs on our radio stream, youtube.com/rhythmandpixels. We have a 24/7 8-bit and 16-bit radio stream. And at the $10 level, you get a little special message on there on rotation on the radio stream. And at $20, you can record your own. I don't care what it is. I'll put it on the internet.
No, he cares what it is.
I do care.
Don't get vulgar.
I'll edit it. In fact, I edited the one that Daryl put up on
Don't
there
promote Ovaltine.
because I just kind of cut down some silence in between his words, but it was still really good. So I appreciate that. So
Don't promote Ovaltine.
you can promote Ovaltine.
Don't you do it.
Yeah.
No.
You say whatever you want. Say whatever you want. Anyway.
Ovaltine.
Where are you getting Ovaltine from, man?
I don't know, but I don't want it promoted. It's got bad mojo.
Anyway, at the end of every episode, we thank our Patreon members, That Nick Walker, The Last Rican, Mike Myers, Sonic Medley, Taco, Harold Howard, Dave Taylor, Reinhard Selkova, Andreas Milberg, Dan Loughton, Phantom Jest, Steve Miller, The Autistic Gamer 89, Cameron Werma, Christopher Shenstrom, Bobby Arson from One Up Funk, Wicked Sephiroth, Carlos from the Heroes 3 podcast, Michael Bridgewater from the Forever Sound Version VGM podcast, and also check him out on twitch.tv/MeBreeC64. He does a very popular show where he goes through C64 demos. I tuned in on while I was at work the other day, and there were a lot of people watching. It was really cool. And Brian Pitt, thank you all very, very, very much for supporting our show. And and if you'd like to get a shout out at the end of our show, feel free to support us there. And if not, it's cool. Just enjoy the show. We're gonna keep doing it, and I hope you keep liking it.
Here to that.
Yeah. All right. So we'll see you next week. My name is Rob Nichols.
And I'm Pernellington Worth.
Take care. Bye bye.
And remember, people in dialogue kind of go hand in hand. And when we have these dialogues, there tends to always be this sort of divide. I don't want to say good and evil, but let's be honest, depending on who you're talking to, it probably is some variant of good versus evil.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how it happens, it just kind of does. Now, with that said, we all want to be our best selves, and we all want to be good people, I hope. But just because that is the case, don't necessarily allow that to make you feel as though you have to conform to a general, say, template to fulfill that role, to fill that niche. What you feel and what you believe should come from the heart, should come from within, and it should be able to stand up to scrutiny, because the whole idea of growing and learning as a person is having your ideas and thoughts challenged. Sometimes what you can come to learn is that some of the challenge that you receive doesn't quite fit what would make sense for you, but at the same time, by not applying it to your logic, it makes you look like a bad person. And while this may sound weirder than I want it to, you want your feelings and your beliefs to be proven to you. You want your beliefs to come from inside, from within. And that usually comes from that scrutiny, from that challenge. If you don't feel something from yourself, for yourself, don't let yourself convert to something solely because of a sense of like guilting or challenging. And I use that when I refer to an earlier point I made about like empathy thoughts on empathy. Obviously, it's one of those where like if you ever feel like, hey, this is one of the first ones you ever said where I have no idea what you're talking about. And if you do wonder, hey, by all means, write in the show. I'll explain it further because it's a little bit of a complicated measure, but ultimately the best way to phrase it as a simple statement is be your true self at all times. That's all you should be, and that's all you can be. And that's it.